We are talking about the new hashtag strategy updated for 2022. Before, it was so much more tactical how you would do it, with how many you would do and the size of the hashtags. It was a completely different game. So essentially, here's how the new hashtag algorithm works. Rather than worrying about how many should I do in my post, should I do 30, should I do 3, should I do 15, whether you should worry about what are the size of these hashtags, the new algorithm is essentially this: help Instagram help you. You want to let Instagram really know what your post is about, and that you just want to use as many hashtags as you can that are completely relevant to the post. And that really has always been a rule, although using slightly unrelated hashtags wouldn't be as much of a killer for you in the past. So for instance, if I was doing a post on hashtag tips on Instagram, right? I could do hashtag Instagram tips, hashtag Instagram marketing tips. Now, where I would draw the line on the new hashtag algorithm is I would definitely not use like the hashtag business 101 because that's just too unrelated. And part of this is not because Instagram shows it on the hashtags and those people don't like it. That is partly it. And that was more of the issue in the past. In the past, you didn't want to use unrelevant hashtags because in case it would show to those people, that's actually not good for the post. It would show to people who weren't really in your target audience, who would not engage with it, and that would largely stop the spread of your post on hashtags. Now, if they can already sense that you're putting in hashtags that are from a few different types of content that this could be, if Instagram is confused, it doesn't keep showing your post to more people. So if you were to do something like business tips, social media tips, sales tips, Instagram tips, entrepreneurship 101, even though those are all probably great for finding people that are in your market, it doesn't tell Instagram what that post is about conclusively. And thus, because it doesn't know, it's not going to push it out on the hashtag and explore page to find it out. It's just not going to show it because it does know about enough other content. And that's kind of the thing. There's just enough other content that it's sure it should be showing to people that it's going to. So the real reason why nowadays like 3 or 5 hashtags might work a lot better for some people is because the more hashtags you use, the more likely you are to accidentally use one that would be a little bit unrelated or would tell Instagram something that it wouldn't know what to do with that post from there. And like I said, as soon as you put in too many hashtags that it's kind of confused as to like what the content is really about, then that's when it's not going to push it out as much. Before, when I said Instagram is becoming more like TikTok with how its hashtags work, it's that TikTok really works like that. And they're even better than Instagram with this because you can do a post on TikTok with no hashtags, and they have computers that will analyze the post, analyze the speech and what you're saying, the pace of it, and so many other things. I can't imagine the extent to which their algorithm goes, and it can scan the content to know what it is about without you even hashtagging it. Like I can go over to TikTok and do a video on Instagram tips, like when to post on Instagram, and it will know, like even without the hashtags, to show it to them. But the hashtags help it figure it out a little bit quicker, and it's definitely going to help push it out. So you still want to do some, but on Instagram, it really does need those hashtags to have an idea of who to show it to. But if 3 to 5 is all you need to help Instagram help you, right? Like just see it more that you and Instagram are on the same side. And in the past, with all these tactical strategies of this is, use 27, like all of that was like how to hack the algorithm. Okay. So if you're looking for an algorithm hack, I'm going to tell you right now that any kind of line of thinking like that, you're just naturally going to get the wrong answer because it's not about that. If your content isn't good enough to get enough engagement, your hashtags aren't even going to turn on in the first place. So don't overlook that you can do your hashtags perfectly with okay content and have this work well. Perfect content and okay hashtags will get way more hashtag impressions than okay content. You'll never have perfect content. So I mean like good content even, or great content, but then really perfect hashtags and then the content is just okay, like you'll get no hashtag impressions. So unless you get enough engagement from your base following then they won't even turn on in the first place. So always remember that. As far as how much engagement do you need to get from your base following, I found that you want to, like when you click on the view insights, where it says the content interactions, which is a summary of comments plus likes plus shares plus saves, your total engagement on the post, you would want that engagement percentage, so that number divided by the reach, to be at least 10% from your base following. Even more so, I found in a lot of cases that sometimes you break that and it still doesn't really work. If you get over 15 or 20%, it's probably going to do really well. But you need at least 10% from your main followers, like the people who like your posts all the time. Like if Instagram sees you can't even get the likes from the people who like your posts all the time, then it's like, we're not even going to show it to the next layer. So you really need at least 10% engagement. Really, I'm going to say more like 15, even though it's very difficult. And that's why it's just really hard to rank on hashtags nowadays. So a lot of this, just know, like if you're not getting hashtag impressions and you're pointing the finger at your hashtags as the first case, you do want to point it at content improvement. If your content is just your products, like you're like, I don't know what to do, we're posting our products. If that is not valuable to someone who would not care about buying from you that day, then it's not truly valuable content. Instagram really does, you need to find a way to make your content more valuable than you just posting about your product. That is okay sometimes, but if you post about your product or any kind of sales promotion, or even check out my YouTube, or thanks for hitting 10K followers or 1,000 followers, like don't expect hashtags to kick in on those. Like it's not content that Instagram is seeing as something that people who don't know you need to see. So if you really want hashtags to work, you need to come out with content that the rest of the world really wants to see. And that's why, it's working more like the TikTok algorithm, which is why TikTok is so much more addicting than Instagram. Because before, your feed could be filled with people who were really good at hashtagging, regardless of their content. When it was back in the tactical time where it's like, oh, the person who used 30 hashtags and they used the right sizes and they did the right posting time and their content was okay, but they did all the tacticals right. So that's what your feed is. That makes people not stay on the app nearly as long as on TikTok, when people are seeing like, wow, like they didn't even hashtag it because this content creator didn't know how to hashtag, and it didn't matter because they were a great content creator, and TikTok could analyze that in itself and just know what the content was about just from its automatic systems analyzing the post, and then get the content out to exactly the type of people who would like it. So their algorithm is getting much better at a slow pace. Really, TikTok's algorithm 2 years ago was better at showing you your most desirable content than the Instagram algorithm was, I will say. But that's also a major benefit to Instagram, because us businesses, it's a lot harder to live on TikTok where, no one truly wants to see a sale, right? Like, what is the most desired post for you to see right now? No one's brain is gonna be like, I want to see a sale, right? So Instagram, it's cool because it's like, hey, we can still make you see it anyways, right? So Instagram, like, we want it to be like this, all right? I'm not complaining at all. Everything that is the way that it is, that is out of your control, is exactly the way we want it. You got to have that mindset, because as long as we know about it, it is in our favor to say, like, look, it's affecting everyone else the same. So we know that Instagram's algorithm works like this. What are some of the cons? Okay. What are some of the benefits? It means that we can post sales, we can post business related content, like reels. Like, you're never going to see reels from like online coaches, or excuse me, you're never going to see TikToks from online coaches that are like, book a call. But like, you can see reels that are like, people in my coaching program have a great experience. It's so much easier to be like subliminally promotional or blatantly promotional on Instagram than it is TikTok. So that's a benefit. And then guys, I did say I have one more hack that I want to share with you. Instagram, the way that their algorithm works is that it really likes to show people more of the content that they're reacting to at that time. So if I see an NFL clip and I watch the whole thing, I like the post, and I scroll down on Reels, I'm probably going to see another NFL football video right there. And then if I engage with that, or I even just watch it to the end, the next post is probably going to be NFL, NFL, NFL. And it tries to keep you in that same world of content that you're digesting at that time. So for that reason, you want to try to find about 3 to 5 of the major competitors in your market who post quite a bit, and say like these are their followers are the exact followers I'm going for. And then right before you post, go to these accounts. So for me, as an example, Instacoach Mike is like a really big Instagram Reels coach. Brock Johnson is another one. There's plenty of the other ones. If I can see that Instacoach Mike posted, some Instagram tips 2 hours ago, and he did 3 to 5 hashtags that are all Instagram related, because he's a big account. Big accounts, it's a lot more acceptable to use less hashtags, by the way. But I'm going to try to use the exact hashtags that he just used, because anyone seeing that post right now, if they engage with it and they're wanting to be in the social media tips world, then I'm going to be likely to come up next, especially if I tell Instagram that I am exactly like that person's post because I'm using a lot of the same hashtags. So what I might do is go to Instacoach Mike's and then Brock's and then like a couple other pages, see who's posted the most recently. Then I'm going to grab a couple hashtags from them and then just kind of compile it into my post right there. You can add a couple extra if you want, but I'm just going to at least use, 3 to 5 of the ones from whoever did a post within like the last 24 hours or so. Or if they have a post that's going viral, then I can try to piggyback off of that, right? Because I know that viral post is probably going to get people's attention initially. And then my goal is to let Instagram know that I'm exactly like that viral content so that I get positioned after. So it's very hard for me to really have conclusive data on, look at these metrics for why I know this works. But in theory, hopefully you can hear why this works just from our knowledge of the Instagram algorithm. This would make a lot of sense. So there is my hidden hashtag tactical tip to still find that little, what's that secret sauce though? Like I know they're basic now, Derek, don't worry about them too much, but what's the secret sauce? That is my secret sauce tip for you. Try that out. Let me know how it works for you. And at the minimum, if you are copying the hashtags of viral posts of people who are very successful in your market, that's a great tip too. So that's why I'm like, even if this isn't like true for any reason, this is still a great tip regardless, but try to figure out who just did that post and try to piggyback off of that traffic that they're getting and be that next post that Instagram shows them. If you enjoyed this episode, hit any kind of engagement for whatever platform you're listening or watching this episode on. And I am coming out with my most requested episode next week on YouTube for setting up an Instagram or a Facebook ad. I've had a lot of people ask me, like, I want to do paid ads, but once I get back there, I just have no idea what to click. And there actually was a lot of updates in the last couple of months of extra little buttons that they put to click back there. So I'm coming out with the video next week where I'm just going to go through and walk through setting up an Instagram/Facebook ad from scratch. So for anyone who's confused as to how to work the system back there, I will be explaining everything every step of the way too, so that you can really understand it. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if that interests you. And thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you guys soon.